When we talk about the richest people in the world, we mostly imagine men. But among women, you can also find a lot of rich people who would give a head start to many businessmen and tycoons. Their fortune is difficult to visualize, and their purchases are very surprising. You should learn more about them. This is Infinity, and in this episode, I'll tell you how the richest women in the world spend their billions and millions. Let's go. At the moment, the richest man in the world is Elon Musk. His assets are estimated at $221.1 billion. Francois Bettencourt Meyer's figures are more modest, $75.8 billion. Although, in comparison with Elon Musk, this woman doesn't seem so rich. Among the other representatives of the fair sex, she is the undisputed leader. The richest woman in the world got her billions from her mother, Lillian Bettencourt. You might not know about Lillian, but you do know the company her father founded, L'Oreal. Francois received her inheritance in 2017. At the time, it was $39.5 billion, or a third of L'Oreal's stock. Many people would be blown away by such money. But Francois not only didn't squander it, but multiplied the wealth. The woman spent the billions she received on various stocks and assets and ended up nearly doubling her enormous fortune. Typically, spending is not for her. The richest woman in the world doesn't spend money on expensive things, but is actively engaged in charity. She's president of the Bettencourt Schuler Foundation, a charity aimed at supporting medical, cultural, and humanitarian projects. Another charity project Francois is personally involved in is helping deaf people. Alice Walton. Next to Bettencourt Meyers is Alice Walton. Again, you might not know her, but you've probably heard of her late father's brainchild because he founded Walmart. Due to the fact that Alice owns shares of this huge company, she has $65.1 billion in her bank account. The woman has never played an active role in the management of Walmart because she's always been closer to art. She fell in love with it at a young age, and little has changed since then. Walton spends her billions on works of art. Alice has a number of original works by legendary American artists including Andy Warhol, Norman Rockwell, and Georgia O'Keeffe. In 2011, she opened the $50 million Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Arkansas to house her $500 million private art collection. Alice's other hobbies include horseback riding. Until 2015, she was actively engaged in it on her huge ranch in Texas, but then decided to devote herself entirely to art and the museum. In her spare time away from the museum, Alice is engaged in charity work. In January 2016, Walton donated $3.7 million of her own shares to Walmart, which was $225 million at the time. In 2017, Alice donated $120 million to the University of Arkansas for the School of the Arts. Walton also has her own charitable organization that supports the arts, education, and healthcare. Hundreds of millions of dollars for charity is cool, but far from the limit. The next woman in this episode donates as much as billions. Stay tuned to learn more about her, as well as to see other richest women on the planet and learn about their crazy purchases. Mackenzie Scott. If you keep an eye on the world of business and money even a little bit, you've probably heard the name Mackenzie Scott. It's not surprisingly, since Mackenzie was the wife of Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in recent years. The couple divorced in 2019, and as a result of the divorce proceedings, Mackenzie received about $35.5 billion. Now, the ex-wife of the Amazon founder's fortune is estimated at $41.2 billion. Mackenzie's real passion is not expensive mansions, private jets, cars, or even islands in the Caribbean, but charity. In just a couple of years since her divorce from Bezos, Mackenzie has donated at least $4.3 billion to charity. Last year, 786 of Scott's donations were known, and now that number is probably much higher. Unlike many other well-known billionaire philanthropists, Scott donates to a wide variety of causes. For the most part, Scott's money is directed to particularly pressing problems. Scott gives a lot of money to nonprofit organizations, colleges, and universities. The woman has given about $1 billion to social service organizations that feed, house, and support those in need. And she's donated about $1.2 billion more to grants to nonprofit organizations that raise money for charity. It looks like Mackenzie's going to surpass Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, the most famous philanthropists in the world, who have jointly given tens of billions of dollars to charity. Sheikha Moza. It's enough to be not the first, but only the second wife of a sheikh, so that you have billions of dollars in your bank account. Sheikha Moza confirms this. She's the second wife of the former Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Hamad. Some say her fortune is estimated at $7 billion, others say it's $15 billion. Either way, Moza's very rich. Despite the culture and customs of the Middle East, the Sheikha does not cover her face completely. Sheikh Hamad has allowed his wife to not wear a veil, so her head is covered only by an elegant turban. The Sheikha has been called one of the most stylish first ladies in the world. She spends a lot of money on clothes and jewelry. Moza is the owner of countless couture outfits. A special place in the wardrobe of the royal person is occupied by the Valentino clothes. A controlling stake of this fashion house belongs to her family. Moza influenced the world with her style and image. Her bold image sparked off a change. In the society, they began to discuss new, bright, and modern outfits for respectable Muslim women. Since then, Moza has become a style icon, constantly demonstrating that an Oriental woman can still look decent but still be stunning. But it's not just the style that makes her look so cool. Moza has spent a lot of money on surgeries. Rumor has it that the woman went under the knife 12 times and spent a total of $2 million on plastic surgery. Charity's also worth mentioning. Sheikha is actively engaged in it, donating a lot of money to help children and women who live in the poorest places of the world and are victims of wars and conflicts. Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure that all of you have seen Oprah Winfrey at least once. She's probably the most recognizable female television host in the world. At the same time, Oprah is very rich. She has $2.6 billion in her bank account, making her one of the richest people in the world of show business. By the way, she's the first black woman billionaire in history. But her unusual purchases and spending are more interesting. She owns several houses at once. Her estate in Montecito, with an area of 17 hectares, is valued at $95 million. And her houses in Santa Barbara, Maui, and Colorado worth a total of at least $117 million. Also, Oprah actively invests and reinvests money in various companies and TV channels, but her main spending goes to education. When Oprah began making millions and then billions of dollars through her eponymous show, she pledged to pay for college tuition for poor black children. To date, the TV host has spent at least $400 million on education. That deserves respect. Since I'm talking about the world of show business, let's take a look at how the most famous show business family spends their money. Of course, I'm talking about the Kardashian family. The richest among them is Kim. She has $1.8 billion. Kylie Jenner, who has about $1 billion in assets, can't complain either. The rest of the family members are doing well financially too because they can afford almost anything. For example, Kim has a $60 million mansion in Hidden Hills. Kris Jenner and Khloe Kardashian have a $37 million mansion in the same area. Well, Kylie has a more modest $36 million mansion in Holmby Hills. Cars owned by members of the family are just as cool as their mansions. Kim's collection includes Ferrari 458 Spider for $220,000, Bentley Continental GT convertible for $270,000, and a Lamborghini Aventador for $750,000. Kylie Jenner also boasts a rich car collection. According to some reports, the total value of her car fleet exceeds $5 million and includes LaFerrari and Bugatti Chiron. Khloe and Kourtney Kardashian are fans of standard expensive cars for the rich, and Kendall is a fan of vintage cars. Her personal collection includes a 1957 Corvette Stingray convertible for $115,000 and a 1965 Ford Mustang for $20,000. That's all, guys. What would you spend $1 billion on? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.